right, next up, third guest is Jon Carpenter, head football coach at Capitol High School, 13-0, Class AAA state champions in 2014. Jon, you're going to do it again, right?
I'm all for it. It could only be 13. We've only got 9 games, so that'd be the best we could do.
Yeah, I was all excited for the 14 and 14 shirts to come rolling out, and then you didn't get to play 14, but I guess you'll take it any way you can get it.
Oh, yeah. That week off, I like it. 2 weeks off does you a lot of good.
This is an interesting night for you, I guess, because we've talked a lot about a guy named Kevin White who played for one season, I guess, at Lackawanna College, but was there for 3 years. Then he went to WVU and played for 2 years, and now he's a first-round draft pick. Has that conversation ever come up with Kayshawn that, look at what guys who go to the junior college route or go to Lackawanna can go and do with themselves?
Oh, sure. We cut that out of the paper today and pasted it all over the school to yeah,
that's a good story.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's huge, and I think not only for him, but for all the young kids in our school, they get to see, what kind of stage he's going to be put on, and so it's tremendous. And we told him, this recruiting thing's not an exact science. There's a guy that got overlooked, and he's going to make a bunch of money tonight. So yeah, it's kind of really neat how that's played out for him.
There are negative connotations with junior college, though. It's not easy. It's not glamorous, too. It bursts a lot of kids' bubble. How do you deal with that right away to let them know it's a hard way, but it is a great way?
It's like a second chance, and obviously it's not as good as going to WVU right out of school, but, but we don't talk to them. I don't think it's negative. I know some people do, but and that's what I told him. All you want is a chance, and you're getting a chance, and it's not going to be glamorous, and there's not going to be thousands of people to watch you, but you get a chance to. It's like a title fight. It's what I tell him all the time. You got it now. If you think you're great, you got a shot to prove it.
On the subject of the draft, you have a quarterback who's going to college, and maybe one day we have the same conversation about him. Yeah. There's 2 good quarterbacks tonight. Right. Figureheads of their college teams, maybe of their pro franchises too. Do you favor one more than the other? One personality, one player more than the other?
Oh, I like. I'm a Mariota fan. I like Oregon, and just for no other reason, I try to copy their offense. So so I see him play. Aside from the bowl game where they played Oregon, I don't guess I ever got to see the Florida State play. My Saturdays are usually filled with Disney Channel and all that. I don't watch a lot of football.
Well, back on the subject of Kayshawn, you mentioned the inexact science part. In Mike's story this morning about Kevin White, there were so many people from Kevin White's past who were so resolute and that knew that this kid was going to make it. When you were reading that story, did you see some similarities? You could think that Kayshawn Haley can be Kevin White, because you seem to believe so much in what Kayshawn Haley can be.
You're going to tell me what resolute means. You lost me there. No, I'm just joking. I'm excited for him. I do the Rocky on him every time I catch him in the hallway. I tell him, I punch on him and get excited, because I hope he's excited, and that's what I tell him. I hope you're as excited as I am, because you got a chance to, to prove to a lot of people that that you belong there and that you're a great football player, and so that's the only thing I've ever preached to him all winter, is you got a chance to go there and make all your dreams come true, and that's all you can ask for. So I think it sets in, I think, and I think he's excited for it, and I think for the thing about junior college, I think it gives a kid a chance to mature, and some people, for whatever, they make mistakes and they're young and things don't go their way, and all those kids, a lot of them are, wish they had worked a little bit harder, done a little bit more. So I think it's a second chance, and so I think for him, like I say, dream come true, I think, for him, to have that opportunity.
Tyree's a 2016 player committed to West Virginia. They had a quarterback last night commit I don't know if that registers with a kid who's committed, not signed.
Right.
Maybe plays the same position. Maybe he doesn't. How has that been received so far?
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Oh, my bad.
I don't think. And Tyree's about like I am. I don't think he knows or cares.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that's he'll go and compete no matter who they sign.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I don't think that was. People ask you those questions. Through this whole process, we never had a conversation with any of them about everybody asks me, and I don't. I'm too stupid to know, or that I should be asking these questions, I guess. But is he going to be the only quarterback they sign? I don't know.
Right.
But all I know, there was never any conversations about playing another position. They wanted to be a quarterback, and like I said, I think he'll compete no matter if they sign Joe Namath. He'll go in and try to win, and I think that's a good thing about him, is he doesn't get caught up in all the hoopla, and so he'll go and fight like crazy to win it out.
But talented enough, he could, if need be, he could play quarterback. He could play another position. He could play another side of the ball too.
I don't know. I don't let him play no defense. His ninth grade year, he got hurt playing 7-on-7. Hurt his shoulder one time. I said, no more of that. Don't. So I don't. Somebody else can worry about that, but I don't even try to entertain those questions. So he could. He's a great athlete. He's cousin of Randy Moss.
Right.
Did you know that?
I did know that. Yes.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So yeah, he's got it. Genetically, he's got it. So he could do that. He could play wide receiver. He could do any of those things. But none of those. I don't know. They may. He'll have a chance to play quarterback, but if not, he'll do whatever he's got to do to play.
You've got Tyree Pratt committed to WVU, Dorian Etheridge, Division I offer. A lot of attention now on your program after a state championship, an undefeated season, a lot of talent. What's that been like to kind of adjust to your role as, Donnie mentioned it, learning the ropes on how the recruiting world works and dealing with head coaches coming into your school and wanting to see your players now? It's a whole different ballgame than it was when you first started 5 years ago.
I'd stay out of it. This recruiting thing, if you can get a handle on it, then you're a lot smarter than I am, because I have no clue how it works. I'm telling you, it's amazing. Like I said, I think I just had the best football player I've ever been around, Kayshawn Haley, and nobody even stops to look at him. But I got Dorian Etheridge, who's 6'3", and he looks the part, and he's not as great as he's going to be yet, but he has the offer, So it's on one side, I'm happy for him, but it's kind of confusing how all this works. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. And I just think if I ask these guys, I like that when the coaches come, because just from my own knowledge, I want to know what they're looking for, and because I've got guys who dominate football games, against some of these guys who have Division I offers, and I'm thinking, what goes into this process besides how good you are, And I think you got to look the part. There's just one, I guess, when I first started coaching, Chris Massey was there at East Bank, and and he didn't get to go out to practice until till September of his freshman year. He wasn't good enough to get a practice helmet at Marshall. And then 5 years later, he's drafted. So, I think, and I tell my kids his story all the time. Here's a guy that played 10 years or, whatever in NFL, and didn't have an all-for-one coming out of there. So I have no clue how it works. I'm excited they're there. I don't mean to sound mad or anything like that, but it's just confusing. And
You do know how coaching works, though. You've kind of proven that, right? So you can't tell me you don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you give it to the people who can run and score. Yeah, I've got it figured out. I told you, I think I've got it figured out. You got to have great players.
All right, keep it simple, right? But you have this under control, it seems like. I used to work up in Morgantown. Morgantown High had a couple really good years, won state titles, Martinsburg state titles. The North had their time.
Right.
It's turning, though, down toward the South. I'm sure you agree there. Why has this happened? Why is this? Well, yeah. Why has this happened? It does seem like the concentration of talent and winning teams is back down here.
I think here in Charleston, there's always been talent at Capital. It's one of the, it's like a Alabama of high school sports in this state. You should be. And but I think they went through a lot of years where those kids didn't go around. And I think times are different. As far as kids wanting to play. I think you have to do things. I think it has to be fun. you know. And I think, I guess what you call that old school way of running them and killing them and doing all that, you know, it doesn't work anymore, especially in a place like mine. So, so now I think we just got to, you know, we have a real good family atmosphere, you know. So many of my kids want to be part of that, you know. So we've they like that part of it, and then they like having fun. And you know, I think with all these spread offenses, you know, that makes it fun. You know what Capital went through is they were playing a wing tee. Well, if you're an athlete, you don't want to go out and block playing receiver, you know, so you can spread the field and throw the ball around. Kids want to play, and just to create that excitement has kind of helped bring it back down here. I think of us in South Charleston, you know, running that kind of offense, it makes it fun, and the kids that usually play basketball are playing football now. So I think that's helped both of our cases.
Your players are probably going to be watching this draft tonight. While you say you don't watch a lot of football, they're going to be watching these guys get picked, watching what they say, how they handle themselves. Are there players that you like them to emulate, that you hear them talking about a lot, that you know, Marcus Mariota, you know,
Oh, yeah.
Everybody speaks well of Marcus Mariota. Are there players that you really like that are, whether it's the NFL or college level, that you don't mind your players, you know, kind of emulating their games and work habits and you know, all that kind of stuff over?
You know, when I talk to them, I try to go and, you know, with the internet, I think that's good. You can go, I think I like to find kids they like, you know, and if you approve of them, you can show them their workout plan, or you can show them the work they do, you know. I thought that was huge with Tyree, as we took him to West Virginia, and he gets to see, you know, those guys, the amount of work they're putting in, you know, and I like that. I think you have to personalize it for them, you know. So I'm dead serious. I don't watch any football, so I don't have anybody outside of that Mariota guy that's, you know, real quiet kid. You know, I'm a fan of that, but I like getting. I talk to my kids about all the old school guys a lot. You know, I get on the videos of, you know, old Pittsburgh Steelers players and things like that. So I'm really not up to date on any of this.
You're an old guy.
I guess. Yeah, I guess. I feel like it sometimes.